Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much for that nice introduction. I know what you're all probably thinking. There's no better way to begin your day than hear a speech from the county property tax assessor. I'm going to get your spirits lifted. Well, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm Jeffrey Prang, and I'm the new LA County Assessor. Actually, the way you pronounce my name, my grandfather came from Poland, and they did pronounce it Prang, I think, in the old country, but we modernized it here. I wanted to begin by telling you a little bit of a very quick story about the county assessor. Many of you may remember Tip O'Neill, the former United States House Speaker. He wrote a book called All Politics is Local, and he received he talked about in his book about a letter about Harry Truman's secretary sent him from a time when Harry Truman was in the Senate. Harry Truman, before he became president, before he became senator, was a county supervisor in Missouri. And but he was finding that he couldn't get by on a county supervisor's salary. So he asked the political boss in Kansas City, Tom Pendergrast, for the job as the county assessor because it paid more money. And Pendergrast told Mr. Truman, he said, Harry, you're not smart enough to be the county assessor, so we're going to run you for United States Senate. Yeah. Which those who know me are probably thinking the same thing, that we should run for Senate. I wanted to also, before I begin, I wanted to acknowledge a couple folks from my staff. I think you all know the Honorable Carol Kwan, who is, here she is in front of us. The assessor can't be here, Carol always is, as well as Elsa Ramos, who's in the back of the room, you'll see from So today's a big day for me. It is my 200th day as your county assessor. I come to this office with fresh but experienced eyes, and I am committed to valuing the residents that we serve and the property that we assess by building the most professionally staffed, technologically advanced, and customer-friendly property assessment agency in the nation. As assessor, the primary responsibility of my office is simple. We locate and identify all taxable property in LA County and assess the value in accordance with California law. As was mentioned during the introduction, there are 2.6 million assessable properties in LA County, valued last year at $1.2 trillion. According to the 2015-16 county budget, property taxes make up 22% of the county's general fund, which translates to $4.6 billion in tax revenues. It is the single source of, largest source of discretionary funds to the county government. The assessments for all properties in LA County are combined and published in an annual assessment roll. This is something we issue later in the summer. The roll is an important economic indicator and is the best indication we have on the overall state of the housing market. Housing represents about 70% of the total assessment roll in LA County. This year, my office is forecasting that the assessment roll will experience its 5th annual consecutive increase in value. While the assessment roll will not officially close until later this month, we're projecting that the 2015 assessment roll will increase by 5.92%, or more than $70 billion in gross valuation. We're forecasting that the 2015 assessment roll will be about $1.26 trillion, which represents the entire value of all taxable property in LA County. The estimated 5.292 increase is based on the best information we have at this time, but there's still several areas that are subject to change as unanticipated trends may emerge in the next couple of weeks as we get closer to roll closure. For example, the extent of growth in business equipment, personal property fixtures, new construction, as well as other special property uses may affect the final number, although we don't anticipate that there's going to be any change from our projected forecast. Right now, though it appears as though the local property market continues to be on an upswing, this is a significant difference from 2007 till 2010, when the Great Recession and the real estate market crisis resulted in a declining assessment roll. Since 2011, the assessment roll has reflected graduated increases from 1.36% to 5.47% last year, And if the current estimate of 5.92% holds, it'll represent the largest percentage increase in the assessment roll in 7 years. The largest single variable responsible for the increase in the assessment roll is the transfer of property, and that is the sale or change in ownership of property. An increase in total amount of transfer value strongly correlates to a stronger housing market. Our current estimate of changes in ownership will add nearly $38 billion to the value of the assessment roll, or $475 million in property taxes to be allocated to local government and education. New construction, which includes both residential and commercial, also has a large impact on the roll. We're forecasting that for this year, new construction will add almost $4.6 billion of value to the assessment roll, or that translates to $57 million in gross property tax receipts. Another indication of the growing housing market in LA County is what we call decline in value restorations. As you know, in 1978, California voters approved a constitutional amendment, Proposition 8, that allows for a temporary reduction in assessed value when a property suffers a decline in value, meaning the property is worth less today than it was when you purchased it. When economic conditions improve and a property's market value increases, we are required by law to restore the assessed value up to the Proposition 13 base year value. We've nearly completed our review of about 241,000 properties that are still under the Prop 13 value and under the annual decline in value review. Most of them are in the northern part of the county. Due to the continued real estate market recovery, significantly more decline in value properties are being restored toward or to their pre-recession base year. We're forecasting the decline in values review will add about $9.2 billion to the 2015 assessment roll. As I mentioned, we'll have more concrete information when the roll closes later this month. For a point of reference, however, I want to tell you a little bit about the West San Diego Valley and where the market currently stands. Last year, my office found that the cities of Alhambra, Monterey Park, Rosemead, San Gabriel, and Temple City included 39,280 single-family residences, 9,909 condominium properties, 9,082 apartment buildings, 5,600 commercial and industrial properties, for a total of 63,900 taxable parcels in this region. In 2014, we processed 2,646 transfers of property within the West San Diego Valley. And I know many may be interested in more concrete data about how the West San Diego Valley has fared since the housing crisis and the Great Recession of 2008. At the height of the West San Diego housing market in 2006, the median sales price of a single-family residence was $559,000. And I'm pleased to report that as of the beginning of this month, the median sales price of a single family residential home in the West San Diego Valley was $588,000, or $29,000 higher than the median sales price just before the recession. So the recession has completely been exercised on this portion of the county, and the market has been restored. The last few years, we've seen enormous growth in the assessed values of property in the West San Diego Valley: 2.7% in 2011, 3% in 2012, 4.1% in 2013, and 4.8% in 2014, all growth ratios that are surpassing the county average. When we close the assessment roll later this month, we'll have more detailed information about the West San Diego Valley, but I think it's fair to say that the county average is 5.92 based on the trends over the last several years. We'll see a little bit stronger performance in this region. The housing market looks to continue its upswing as more properties are being bought and sold. Property values are recovering from the recession, and new construction has increased overall. Much goes into building this annual assessment roll. And as assessor, I have 3 priorities that I've identified to help me accomplish this goal. First one is open data and system modernization. Secondly, taxpayer access and responsiveness. And thirdly, partnerships and public education. And so with those priorities in mind, one of my first acts as your assessor was to assemble a diverse transition team that was chaired by LA City Controller Ron Gelprin and was comprised of some of the best and brightest minds at the the community and business leaders in LA County have to offer. My transition team issued a 100-day report which provided fresh perspective and insight into how our agency functions and made recommendations to improve business operations in the office. The transition team recommendations detailed how we could increase transparency and improve customer service while making the lives of our staff easier by updating technology. We've begun implementing those recommendations, starting with a new website. Many of you may use that website. The website is our most highly visible introduction to the public, and it was critical that we update this as one of our first steps. If you know anything about government, you'll know that changing out our website shouldn't take a long time, but everything in government takes a long time. We did that. We updated our website within 60 days. We worked very hard to address the shortcomings of the old site, and we built upon the best practices established by other county departments and other assessors to include in the new one. It features upgraded navigation and search capabilities that will improve customer service and accessibility for those, particularly for real estate professionals. The new site provides information about property values, programs to help reduce property taxes, and maps. You can also access and print out forms, view annual reports, and get information to help you navigate the entire property tax system. I'm also very proud that my office is a leading agency in the County Open Data Initiative. This recently launched effort in cooperation with other county departments has created a one-stop website for anyone seeking data about county departments. The Office of the Assessor has published data on LA County's 2.6 million accessible parcels. And we believe that this is the largest open data release of property data anywhere in the nation. And so you can now access archived and indexed information free of charge. And as you know, there's a number of companies that use our information, whether it be Zillow or Case Schiller, that will oftentimes charge you for that information, but I believe that this information is public data. It should be easy to access, easy to interpret, but most importantly, it should be free. The most significant initiative of my administration is the replacement of our antiquated technology systems. And we've begun the effort to replace what our outdated mainframe, green screen legacy systems. You would think with a department like ours, we're monitoring and valuing 2.5 million parcels of property a year, that we'd be an information and technology-based organization, but we are still substantially paper-based organization. Those 2.5 million parcels are all associated with a paper file. Our current systems, some parts dating back to the 1970s, are paper-based, inflexible, and operate on old technology platforms that are inefficient for our staff when responding to inquiries. If you've ever tried to access any of our public websites, you know how cumbersome they can be. But once completed, our new systems, which will be far more user-focused and user-friendly, will improve customer service by increasing productivity and efficiency. And I'm very proud to say that just Tuesday of this week, the Board of Supervisors approved the first $20 million for this project, the 4 to 5 year project, and will cost a total of about $80 million. My team is also working hard at improving operations with our assessment appeals unit for those who challenge their assessments. As a result of the previous recession-induced decline in values and changes in assessor practice that were implemented in the wake of the scandal of the previous administration, assessment appeals have been backlogged for several years, with some cases taking many years to resolve. And I'm working with the other county departments that have a role in assessment appeals to try to find a way to streamline those challenges. We're also working with the Treasurer Tax Collector and Audit Controller to create a one-stop public service counter in the Home Administration downtown to help resolve tax issues quickly. You're probably it's actually kind of nice to speak to the associations of realtors, because you're probably one of the few groups of people who know that I'm not the tax collector. The assessor just does values, we don't do taxes. And I'm also working closely with other assessors throughout the state to introduce legislation to make our operations function better. There's actually one piece of legislation I'm going to tell you about quickly. I'm not sure what else it's called, the Malibu mobile home exclusion. In Malibu, there's in other places along the coast, Malibu is just one example, there's a lot of these old mobile home parks. Some of the mobile homes have been there for decades. And some of the mobile homes sell for as much as $4 million. And they have views over the ocean, which are $5 million views. I mean, you can understand why people buy them. So, but some of them are old and decrepit, so we have a few smart people who, mobile homes are not personal property, but they're vehicles. So they pay a $20 to $80 DMV charge annually. Well, some people got clever. They take the mobile home, they strip it all the way down to the 4 or 5 beams that make up the chassis. Because it didn't look like a mobile home, just 5 metal beams. Then they build an ordinary home on top of that. It looks just like any other type of new construction. And they now have this multi-million-dollar home that they pay $20 a year in lieu of property taxes. Great gig if you can get it. So I introduced legislation this year through Senator Ben Allen. We're going to close that loophole and ensure that if you have the money to convert your mobile home into a home, you should also have the resources to pay your fair share of personal property taxes that the law requires. And in closing, I just wanted to, first of all, thank you all for your time and attention and support. As you know, I ran for Assessor last year, and I had a lot of strong support from the real estate community as well as in your association. I want to acknowledge one of your past president, Mel Wong, for having served on our transition team, and along with my staff, with Carol, Sid, and others. I'm looking forward to continuing to build our relationship with the West San Gabriel Association, and look forward to working closely to help you do your job more effectively. Thank you very much.